Hi, John. Hi, John.
Hey, John.
Is everyone John tonight? Hi, Terry.
Hiya.
Hey, Terry.
Hiya.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, wait a
Siri
minute.
just thought.
And
Siri
hi,
just thought I said,
user.
"Hey, Siri."
And hi, user. Who's user? Oh, and Daisy's not come in. Let's try again on Daisy. Whoever it says user, you can. Oh, hello. We recognise you. I just can't remember your name.
Daisy.
Hi, Joe.
Daisy. Yeah, no, it's user. You
Hello,
moved.
Daisy.
You moved.
Uh-huh.
So whoever says user, if you're going to put your video on, that'd be cool. And you can change your name using the 3 dots in the top right hand corner of your screen if you want to change your name, and you can unmute and tell us your name if you want.
I'm Daisy.
Hi, Daisy. Yeah,
Yes.
lovely to see you.
Hi,
So
Daisy. Hi.
somebody called
Let's
User.
spend a couple of.
There's somebody called user
let-
with no video and no sound. Did you want to change your
You
name?
want to tell us who you are?
Tell us who you are. Unmute. No worries if you don't have a video. Okay, we'll just call you user for now. Tom, off you go.
We wait for a couple of
Right,
minutes.
it's
See
the
if
identifier,
anyone
right?
else we wait for a couple of minutes. See if anyone else is coming.
So it feels like years since we've seen you, John, and Terry.
Well, a few hours.
Few
Yes.
hours, yeah. We were on the Primo call earlier, Daisy and user. And Jason. So yeah, we've seen John and Terry already today.
I mean, for me, it was last night, kind of like, was 11 o'clock
you
for
slept
me.
since.
I had a couple of hours sleep.
And it is 5 o'clock in the morning. Daisy, where you from? Singapore, Malaysia?
No, I'm from
or...
Toronto, Canada.
All right. Okay. So for you, what time
It's
is it?
5 p.m.
It's good. 5 p.m.
No,
so
it's not
bad
5,
for
yeah.
you. 5 p.m.
Civilized hours.
Right. I mean, before anyone else joining us, or, I mean, is the result of the election out yet?
Yeah, I think it's Joe Biden, they said.
Biden,
Yeah.
but Daisy's in Canada, not
Right.
America, Tom.
Yeah, but we're like you know,
Oh, right.
we're the closest. You know, like you guys are all the way across like oceans. And like we're anything that happens.
Yeah, you're next door, aren't you? Yeah,
Yeah,
Joe Biden. There was.
Yeah, you're next door, but I guess you are the country that is closest to the U.S. not only geographically, but also I think you use the same telephone country code as well, right? Also one, start with one. Yeah, right.
To the same country.
So I mean, to me, almost one country. Yeah,
I'm
yeah, almost
Yeah.
like the same country.
I'm more interested in the
Don't say that to a Canadian.
No, exactly. I'm more interested in
Right.
the Strictly result, all you UK people. Ellie and family are next door screaming at the TV at the moment.
What's that? What's on?
Strictly,
What is
Strictly
on, Joe?
Come Dancing. Strictly
Oh.
Come Dancing.
Oh,
I had to break off to come in here.
Okay, we've
in
got
America-
this gentleman.
Hello, user.
Hi.
In
Hello.
America, they call
Do you
it
want to
Dance
check?
with the Stars, don't they? Hello. Oh, you're still muted, I think.
We can't hear you.
Oh, we can't hear you. You're
Like
not
your-
muted, but you're.
Your audio is not quite finished connecting. You might need to
No.
choose your microphone there.
If you go to the bottom left of your screen, you can perhaps choose your microphone.
There's your mute button, and then there's a little up arrow next to it. You can choose the microphone from the up arrow.
The upper arrow next to the microphone.
Yeah.
Then there's a pop-up. We can't hear you, or your camera is also.
It's just below your nose, so we can't even see
Yeah.
if your lips are moving now.
Keep your hands
Okay,
like that, you look
that's
like
There we
a
go.
cat.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So while you're doing that, let me. I guess we just get started. If people coming later.
Yeah.
I first of all let me welcome you and congratulate you as a VIP of our ClickSeminars.Live 2. Let me just introduce you. Some of you already know them very well. Jason has just disappeared from his camera for some reason. Okay,
I was
Jason.
just growling at the dogs.
All right. Okay. Jason Buckner, he has also been working with us, from the beginning of the World Internet Summit. He is an internet business automation expert, and he's so busy. That's why it's our opportunity today to have him again with us. If you have any question whatsoever, and you can, ask him, and I don't think the opportunity will repeat again and again. I can promise you that. But so, take the opportunity to ask him questions. Joe, most of you know her from our Primo coaching programs, and she is a time management and a productivity expert. I would like to say, anything you need to know about internet. On the internet, there's a website called Wikipedia. And if you ask Joe, she would have the answer for you. So I would say Joe is kind of like Interpedia, if you like, Internetpedia, put it this way, the dictionary of internet business. So if there's anything at all, please ask. And then while we're waiting for the others, let's just, invite some questions from who are already on the call. This user here, can you change your name or introduce yourself if your audio is working? We can only see you as a user. I don't like that. To call you a user.
I have a suggestion. If you type into the chat what your name is, I can change your name for you on the screen, and then we'll at least be able to write the right name.
Yeah, but your audio still has to work, or you could. Is it possible, Joe, for
Mick from Australia? So
Mick,
excellent. We're going to
Mick from Australia.
You.
Hi, Mick. Yeah, hi, Mick.
And then
is it possible for Mick?
There you go, Mick.
To share this. Hi, Mick. Hi.
There we go.
We can't hear you.
No. Okay. Well, Mick, just use the chat. If you've got any questions or any comments, put that in there, and we can reflect that back, and everyone will be able to see it, and we can read it out and everything else as well. So you won't lose the opportunity to communicate with us all, because we will help that to happen.
Or I have a first question, Joe. Maybe you know the answer. If Mick share his screen, do you think you could help him to configure the audio somehow? No, I know it's going to be difficult.
No, because we can't see his Zoom controls, so we can't actually see the screen. So, but Mick, it sounds like there's probably an issue with his microphone. It may not even just be that it's not selected. It might just not be working. A bit like Philip today. But yeah, just use chat, Mick, and we'll put stuff in, and we'll communicate with you that way. All
right then. So, do we have any questions?
Yes, so when did you guys start getting sleep, or how does in terms of I'm just wondering in terms of how does this in terms of scheduling when everyone wakes up and goes to sleep, because this one really was it seems like all hours, right? So how in staffing wise is it hard to manage, or you just all of you don't sleep for those few days?
Tom doesn't.
Well, the good thing is we're all over the world. So I'm in Melbourne in Australia, and Joe's in the UK, and Tom's in China at the moment. So between the three of us, we get to cover all of the time zone basically. Although Tom never sleeps.
Well, put it this way, because it's just like an election. You just have to go for the majority. So particularly Joe, again, she's a very smart person. So she picked this time, which is relatively easier for you in Toronto. What time is it? You just said 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. And I believe it's 9 or 10 o'clock in the UK in the evening. And then in Australia, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's all kind of durable for you, at least. For me, 5 a.m. Okay, I committed myself to work hard, because, I need to not only demonstrate hard working is one of the good quality any successful person need to have, but also, as I said, like election, just I have to go with the majority. I can not be selfish, pick the best time for me, but the best time for most of our customers. Perhaps some of my customers are customers. That's why I was asking you, if they were in Singapore or Malaysia, it would be also difficult for them to attend this session if they had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. But what can we do? We cannot find a time around the clock, around the globe that is workable for everybody. So we just did kind of like the best, provided what we've got. Yeah. So any questions? Take
And
that
then remember,
opportunity.
our MC Mike was in America, so he's on a different time zone as well. So between all of us, we cover pretty much all of the time zones. But yeah, he was our anchor man, wasn't he?
Right. Yeah. How many actually signed up for Click Seminars, do you know? And what proportion were paid and VIPs?
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, Terry, I thank you very much for asking the question. I can tell you, and this is actually the actual numbers.
Yeah.
We had over 5,700 people sign up. And I think up to today, we have 143 people sign up for VIP. And surprisingly, we only have like, how many right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of you join us, so you are the action takers. I mean, congratulations to you. I don't know why the rest didn't turn up, and
well, it could be, it could be time zone kind of things, but it's also an indication for us. Internet business is always testing and measuring, and this is an indication for us that the value is actually in the recordings that you get as a VIP, rather than in the call with us. Although maybe we could change that as well by giving superb value now, and you can spread the word. But it's test and measure, and we're always doing it in business, even at the scale of Tom and how long he's been in internet business. It's always testing and measuring and making sure you're getting the right mix.
It is really interesting though that I've just been reflecting on that question, Terry. That I'm in a membership about membership sites, and I haven't yet been to one of the live meetings that they hold, and I've been in the membership for probably 9 months, and I have my own membership, and I get frustrated when my members don't come live to calls, and we have brilliant calls and they get really good value. I know they do, and the ones that come, really benefit from it. But I'm just sitting here, I was sitting here as you asked the question, having thought exactly that we have a really small percentage of people who've turned up live, and as Jason said, we have a lot of people who've got various reasons. I could have not come because Strictly is on.
Actually, by the way, Joe is technically unwell, and she still made it, and she just made the decision to come and meet us. And regardless whether there would be 149 people who registered, everybody, or there's only a handful of people, we committed to give our very best.
We did.
And I congratulate.
But as I say, I'm
more
reflecting that there's things that I sign up to and I don't go to live, and I'm thinking, actually, well done you lot. I need to do that, because you get so much more value if you actually turn up and talk to people, and well done for doing that. And hello, Carol, you've just turned up. Hi,
Carol.
Hello, hi Joe, hi Tom, hi Chris.
Where are you, Carol?
Montreal, Canada.
Ah, lovely. And so are you at 5 o'clock or a different time zone? What time? What time is it in Canada?
Right now it's 4:14.
Ah, so you're an hour behind Daisy, who's in somewhere else.
Toronto.
Toronto. There you go.
Okay,
hi Daisy. Hi.
Oh no, it is. Oh, sorry. It's 4:14. Yeah, no. So I put my clock an hour. Oh my gosh. See, I'm like, okay, I'm just not really totally here, but it's just I get you though. It's like I'm just wondering, is it the same thing as like the information overload, like when you started like the internet and they had blogs and like everyone was posting, and then like you can catch up with everything, and then now because with COVID, like there's all these different sites, and it's hard to decide where to put your time, and then it's just other things that happen, like so while you could say it's a measure, and absolutely there is value in the recordings, like part of the reason really could be because it's just this time is kind of really unique, and also because like of the situation that's been going on for months, like many other people would have the same ideas as you in terms of doing summits, and like there's all these different summits. So if I think, oh, that person or that person is gonna add value to me right now or something, then I'll just skip this one, or because I think it's just because it's like you don't, like you said, like there's no testimonial, like you don't really know what you get, but like you said, like it absolutely it's that interaction, like if anything, like, you know, it's just at least like knowing that you're not just sitting alone by yourself, or like even like if you're sick, like even if you have family around, like it's nice to see fresh new faces every once in a while. And if you're not like, if you go out into something like it's just I think it's independent. Like this one is, I think, a little bit unique, but I definitely think, yeah, definitely there's value. And I think because you said like you've done this for so long, since the World Internet Summit, and then like, you know, you've did ClickSeminars 1. So I mean, actually, maybe could you talk about like, so what differences have you seen over the years? And is this getting any easier for you, or is it always just going to be the same?
Well, I guess, Daisy, this time particularly, I think many people will be watching the news about the U.S. election result. You know, sometimes, you know, okay, we are not American. We don't have any political opinions. I mean, I don't pick a side. I don't care who is what. But still, you know, you pay attention to what's going on. It's kind of like something that is related, because they are the leading power of the Western democracy. So I think everyone is paying attention. Perhaps lots of them are watching the news instead of coming here. But you said exactly right, as Jason suggested, we are learning and adapting to the new condition. I think we used to buy movie tickets, you know, go to cinemas, you know, that's how they say it in the UK. And nowadays, you know, people don't buy ticket, go to cinemas, and they watch movies or whatever, you know, on YouTube or, you know, some other networks on demand. They choose when to do what they want to do. It's not like, you know, one day, I don't know, maybe, you know, you can choose your own flight time, you know, not yet. When you catch a flight, you can't miss it. But with those kind of digital meetings, people think, big deal. If I missed it, I just watch the recording. But again, you know, you said it very well. It's a family feeling, especially with John, and we have two Johns here today, and Terry. We just met 5 hours ago. And sometimes we don't even talk about internet business in particular. It's that feeling of being a part of the family. That's why ours, we don't have a great number of people, but we always show everybody. I mean, we love to see each other. I mean, we don't want to say, okay, Jason, Joe, and myself being the presenters, kind of like, you know, we let you see us and we don't see you. We don't like that feeling. We like to see each other, so we know, you know, especially when lockdown time, when the time is difficult for everyone, then it's at least a very warm feeling to be able to get together virtually, you know, remotely from around the world, just like a family. So I like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have, Kathy just joined us. Yeah.
Yes, Kathy keeps coming in and out on the video. I'm not sure what's going on. Kathy,
but I can see that
up.
she raised her hand. Yeah. Do you have something to say, but we can't see you? We can't hear you.
Do you want to speak, Kathy? Can you unmute? Are you muted?
I think Kathy's audio didn't connect, so so Kathy might have to type into the chat box for questions while she's connecting the audio.
Or you might want to come back in again. That might solve the problem. I think the other thing I was just reflecting actually is, contrary to what people might think, because I talk a lot, I'm actually quite an introvert. So I don't, unless I'm in control, I don't like going to things and talking. So actually some of the reason I wouldn't come to something like this, probably I'd go for the recording, as Tom said, I'd use my on-demand opportunity, is because I don't want people to see me or talk to me, which, as I say, is odd considering, you know, I do talk a lot. So I do think that some of it sometimes, that, you know, some of the people who aren't here probably, you know, aren't comfortable coming and having a conversation, but they want to learn from the people who are here, and they want to, you know, watch the recording, but they, you know, they don't feel comfortable joining us. And, you know, I get that. I just have to be here because Tom told me I had to.
No.
One that I watched in America, and it's 9 o'clock in the evening there, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning for me. But they encourage you to turn up live because he's talking about building funnels for marketing, and you know, they will give freebies away at the end of the webinar. But it's only, I mean, it's a training webinar. It's not a selling webinar. But it's only open for 2 hours after the end of the webinar. So watching the recording, you wouldn't get access to what they've been doing, you know. And so that can be an incentive to some people to make them come live if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But there's a gentleman here, he's saying that it clashes with his work time.
Yes.
You know, and that's when you're going global. That's a difficulty. I'm finding webinars from the States are on at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning quite regularly because they're evening ones for them.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I'm glad you brought your cat with you. Jason will bring his dogs in a minute, don't you worry. Anyone else got any animals in their room?
Hang around, don't worry. Any other questions? John, you're muted there. If you want to unmute yourself, then we can hear you as well. Everyone can unmute themselves. There's, you know, it's a small group and we can all just chat.
John Wickham, he meant you. John Smelt,
yeah,
you,
John
can,
Wickham,
you can unmute as well. Oh no, John's off to find his dog. John Wickham's got a lovely dog called Mr. Perkins, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
Right?
Mr. Perkins is getting woken up to appear on the screen.
And it's not even his dog. He shares it with somebody, if I remember rightly. Hello. Is it Mr. Perkins?
Oh, Mr. Perkins is not very happy.
He's getting old now. He's 16 and he's getting a bit deaf and he's got cataracts
And
in
you
his
just woke
eyes.
him up. But apart from that, John, all is fine.
He's lovely, yeah. And he was
Jason's
with
gone to get his.
an old chap who died at 92 and he'd been with him 9 years.
Yeah.
And he'd never been socialized really. Now I've got him to be good with other dogs, with horses, with people, and he's fine. You know?
Yeah.
Just smile though.
Actually, John,
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a Netflix addiction going on at the moment. I'm binge watching a series that I think you might love.
Uh-huh.
It's called Heartland. It's based in Canada, Daisy and Carol.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
And it's just lovely, isn't it? And it's all about horses, John. It's a horse ranch.
Yeah.
Oh.
The trouble is, I watch very little television or any of those other things now. I'm
Yes,
spending so much time on the internet.
I know. Don't get
training.
distracted. But if you do watch telly, watch that because
I remember that one. Yeah.
Right,
This
Jason.
is-
Yes,
This is Fiddy.
Oh.
This is Roxy.
Wow, you got it both.
look. Oh, brilliant.
And how
So
old are
Fiddy was
they?
named after Fiddy Cent, and Roxy was named after Roxy Hart. Does anyone know who Roxy Hart is?
Chicago.
Chicago, that's right.
Yeah.
You know that already, though, Joe.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was why she was named Roxy.
Another good program. Is anyone into chess? Anyone like chess? I was in the
Carol?
good, Carol. Thank you. I was in the chess club at school only because I was a swimmer and I wasn't allowed to do any other sport just in case I injured myself and it affected my swimming. And anyway, so I joined the chess club for sports. You know, we do sports once a week, and this program called The Queen's Gambit is on Netflix. I don't know if anyone's seen it. You know,
I've seen it advertised. It looked really good.
watch it.
Yes,
Watch it. It's very, very good. It's
when he says he wasn't allowed to do anything to injure himself, how good are you at swimming as a master, Jason?
well, I swam in the Masters World Championships last year and I came 7th for 200 butterfly.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Just thought I'd put
So,
that one in there for you.
I'm better now as an adult than I was as a child, but you know, a lot of time and effort and money went into it. I wasn't allowed to, you know, kick a football and damage a limb or something like that. So not that I like football anyway.
So, questions? Anything you are desperate to know? Anything we can help you with?
I'd like to know a little bit more about the organisation of the Click Seminars. Did it affect the numbers that you had? Well, the last one was in June, wasn't it? Do you think that having them close together affects the numbers? I don't know if that's, but you know, like sometimes when they have conferences and shows and fairs, you know, that you attend at the exhibition halls, they might have 2 a year, one at the beginning and one towards the end, whereas June to October is quite close, isn't it?
Can I answer this, Tom? Do you mind if I'm candid with this?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, tell it, because you see, as I said, Jason, it's an opportunity for us and for the rest of the attendees to ask you questions, because we just met, you know, with Joe 5 hours ago. So you take whatever time that you need. Yeah, provide.
Yeah, no problems, no problems. So Terry, I'm not sure, but I don't think so. As far as the timing of you know, between then and now, you know, June and July was a very different landscape, I guess, and in most of the world with COVID, whereas now it's, you know, slightly different. And although, you know, Melbourne, for example, has just gone through lockdown for all of that time. So for Melbourne, it was quite similar, but the rest of the world, you know, they're probably about to go into lockdown again. So, you know, June or July will happen again, coming up soon, I'm sure. But for
into second national lockdown, so yeah.
But for World Internet Summit, we used to do one every 2 weeks. And that was more regional. So we would do, say, not 2 weeks, 2 months. We would,
and not regional either, countries, but hey, carry on.
Yeah, worldwide regions. Anyway, so we would go, you know, in Australia, and we would go to New Zealand, and then to the UK and the USA, and then sometimes Canada, and sometimes in Asia as well. And so we would cycle around the world. And our original thoughts, sorry?
Not on bikes though, they were flying.
Not on bikes, no. Well, it would be a cycle of events, wouldn't it? And so we would cycle around the world, and that was our original ethos around Click Seminars as well. So we were going to, the first one was in USA time zone, so it was focused towards USA, which was terrible for me. I had to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning and to manage those things. And then the second one was aimed to be in UK time zone, because that's where we had a lot of the response on the attendance from the first one. And then the next one for you and me, Mike, on this call, the next one was due to be in Australia and Asian time zone, so to sort of match this middle part of the world. Well, it's middle when I look at the map. It's probably not middle when you all look at the map, is it? I think that's one of the funniest things is everyone looks at the map and their country is in the centre and everything else is off. I think Australia should be in the centre and everyone should see it that way. No, I'm just teasing. Actually, I'm probably not teasing. I think it should be that way. Getting off track though, getting off track. So we did have it set to be in UK time zone, and then for this marketing of this event, you know, which we weren't expecting, we had a lot more registrations from USA time zone. And because we'd already, you know, advertised when and where it was going to be, you know, it fell into not so convenient times in the USA, absolutely not convenient time zones in Australia, but we expected that, and in Asia. But so yeah, I think that's one of the things that that, you know, can attribute to the attendance rates and that side of things. Does that make sense?
So we had a fairly consistent sort of number of people for each event, but they were from different places, and we're sort of reflecting and thinking that the second event timing actually wasn't the right timing considering the people that were coming. And so Terry, I think you're asking because of that whole, you know, how do you logistically work it out and all that sort of thing. And I think, you know, Jason's just sort of implied that in retrospect, the timings for the second one actually weren't quite right because we had more American people, whereas we thought we were going to have more UK people. And also with sort of thinking we should be more fair to the whole world and keep moving it around. But actually, if your audience doesn't move around, then perhaps you shouldn't move the timings either. Obviously, World Internet Summit, they were physically moving around, therefore, you know, that worked. But when you're working online, you have to, you know, bear in mind a whole load of variables, and you have to be really flexible, don't you, Jace?
I certainly didn't see many of the first lot because of the timings, because I'm out early in the morning.
Yeah.
But the second lot was great. And I certainly, I mean, I've been to I'm not sure if it's 2 or 3 World Internet Summits, but the ClickFunnels is much more convenient, you know, because there's quite a full program, but there is space in the bits of the day that you can also get if you've got a business to get on with your work.
It's not convenient for us, is it, Jay? She used to come and stay at our house, but
I know. I used to travel the world. I used to get to see everyone that was there and talk to everyone. You know, that's the bit that I miss.
Yeah.
You know, and I think a lot of people are missing that now as well. You know, with COVID and a lot of people working from home. I work from home all the time, so I'm quite used to it. But you know, people working from home and the change in environment. You know, it's good to see faces sometimes, isn't it? And even just have conversations with people that you would normally have if you were attending something live.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, weren't we, Jason, on Slack about the different types of events that are being run now, and how, you know, some are more interactive than others. And, you know, we've just reflected already at the beginning of this call about, you know, how few of the VIPs were actually here to meet us in you know, real life, if you like. But maybe that's partly because events normally aren't so live. You know, people aren't normally making themselves available in the same way that we are today. And also we're in a new world where we don't really know how it works. You know, it would have been easy to put live events on because that's what we've been doing for years. But to put this sort of event on, you're feeling your way. And some people seem to be doing it really well, some people not so well. And I guess things will keep developing over the next year or so as the world has changed. Because I think even if we all get back traveling and the world seems to sort of go back to normal, I think some of these online events will continue on the basis that, as you know, John said, it's more convenient. And, you know, we've been able to work as a team from all different countries, which we wouldn't have been able to easily do in the same sort of cost-effective way, and all that sort of stuff as well. So
we get to meet online, don't we? In World Internet Summit days, we didn't all meet until we were in each of those locations, you know, traveling all around the world to get there. Whereas now, you know, we get to meet, you know, once a week, and everyone's in the meeting, and it's like we're all in the same room, just like now.
Yeah,
I'm sure the American elections is one of, you know, quite a big cause why a lot more people aren't here tonight. If it hadn't been on, I'm sure we'd have got a lot more.
Probably all out partying, you mean, or not, commiserating or celebrating. Yes.
Well, it's not fighting.
Well, and of course, we couldn't have picked this time because randomly their elections go on for days and days on end, and no one knows when it's going to end.
Just ended, hasn't it?
Finally, yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
as you said,
next, what facet of internet marketing is everyone following or looking to do? I was just going to ask a similar question, actually. I'm looking at marketing and e-commerce. The reason is I can sell other people's products without having to make anything. My biggest hurdle has been application focus and fear of failure from the point of view that you do not know what you do not know. So Mick, I think that's the biggest hurdle for everyone to get over, and that's not the first part of that question about, you know, marketing or e-commerce or which way do I go. I think the fear of failure is the biggest problem here, and I guess you know, you've got to have a look at your why. Why are you doing this, and what is the reason for doing this? And I don't mean, oh, I just want to work from home. I mean, what does it really mean to you in your life to make this business a success? And dig down deep. You know, I don't know if you've heard of Brett McFall. He used to be Tom's business partner in World Internet Summit, and he made me do an exercise about one day, and that was to write down 100 reasons why I cannot fail in this business. And then the second exercise was to write down 100. He makes people do 50 now, but he made me do 100 back then. And then the second exercise was
special.
The second one was to write down 100 reasons, 100 things that you can do when this business is a success, you know, and be very, very specific about the people that you can help, about the reasons why you're doing it, about, you know, all of that in the process. And you'll find that quite empowering, you know, getting past the will this work or won't it work, will be very, very quick and easy once you've done an exercise like that, because it just makes you sit up straight and think, okay, well, whether it will work or whether it won't work, I've got my path forwards now. I have to make this work for these reasons, if that makes sense. And then you know, the second part to that is you're kind of on a little bit of what if it doesn't work right now, but what if it does? You know, it's a little glass half full at the moment when we think about what if it doesn't work. What if it does work? You know, how good would it be if it does work? And we kind of go to the unknown, and it's still unknown if it does work. But let's push forward on that rather than you know, the what if it doesn't kind of thing. Just a slight little mindset change there will help you drive forwards through the process.
Tom, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, let me put it this way, Mick. I sometimes, you know, when you take action, you don't really know exactly what you're going to achieve. Having a goal is a starting point. Even if you achieve half of what you intend to achieve, is 100 times better than not getting started. I mean, Terry was talking about the attendance of the Click Seminars 1 and 2 and all that. I mean, many reasons contributed to that. One is that people's lifestyle changes. And also this time, particularly ClickSeminars.Live 2 was sponsored by ClickBank. And they sent us a lot of people, mainly from United States. Now, at that time, as Jason said, we already announced the time of the sessions. So it's not fair for the people who are in the UK that we initially targeted for their best time, you know, to have the live sessions. So it was too late to change. We just had to make a judgment. Now, was it a total failure? Absolutely not. We still deliver great value, like John was saying that now he's not in the front of the camera. He said he enjoyed the second one because the first one he couldn't watch live. So we did deliver value to some degree. Was it a profitable? Perhaps not, but we still made some reasonable amount of sales. So Mick, I wouldn't call it failure, but it wasn't as good as we expected. I mean, it's just like everything in your life, you know, business-wise, everything, not to predict exactly what's going to happen to you in the very end, but to just give your very best shot. This is my advice would be, and according to your circumstances, your background, your skill set, and your goal, take the action, make sure that everything you do is going towards to that end result that you want. And even if you achieve only half or even a quarter, that is 100 times better than not even try. I mean, sometimes you try and then you totally fail. And I think there's still value in there because there is a lesson for you to figure out. Because I mean, to be honest, making money on the internet, there are many different ways. You know, some people making big money just simply promoting other people's products as affiliates. Some people making big money by doing, you know, seminars, and some people doing one-on-one coaching. You know, some people doing copywriting, and some people doing all kinds of different areas of internet marketing. Which one is better? Which one is going to work? It all depending on individuals and your circumstances, your skill set, and also, I mean, the action that you take. So I would encourage you to try whatever you feel most comfortable, most likely can produce result for you. And, you know, if it doesn't work for a little while, you think something else that need to be adjusted, just like, you know, what we do. Next Click Seminar, we are still thinking very hard how we can improve it so that, you know, we can achieve better result for our attendees and for ourselves as well. But having said that, Jason said very well, we used to have to travel around the world. Terry said only once a year. Yes, we've been in the UK once a year and every year. So the people in the UK would come, they know that, okay, this is only once in a year opportunity. If I miss this one, then I will have to wait until next year. So, you know, we would meet physically, but with much greater effort and cost, because we had to fly. Remember, Jason, we had to fly to London like, you know, 3 or 4 days before the actual event starts, because it's a terrible long flight for us from Australia to UK would take you about 24 hours, in transit somewhere in the middle, in Hong Kong or in Singapore or in China or in Middle East. And then once you land, the season is directly opposite. You have to adapt yourself into the right season, and not to mention the time zone, the huge time zone. So if we did a physical event in the UK once a year, we had to spend a lot of time and the money to make it happen. But now, okay, perhaps the result is not, the value is not as good as we meet person to person with the mask or without, virtually, but we can do that easily multiple times without have to travel around. And for our attendees, the same thing. Yeah. Do you have anything to add in? Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
My thoughts on that is, we talked a bit about it at the Primo call this afternoon, didn't we, Terry, John and John? And it's really easy to focus on things that aren't perhaps what you should be focusing on, because the difficult stuff is difficult. And so, we procrastinate by doing other things. So we feel like we're doing stuff, but it's maybe not the right stuff. And that's because we're worrying that we're not good enough and all that sort of stuff. And Terry, you talked about being a bit ahead of other people and a bit behind other people as a sort of way of judging, what you're doing. And actually that's the point, that you here, all of you, I can pretty much guarantee that you're all a few steps ahead of some people that you could sell something to.
Yes.
And you may not be 20 steps ahead of them, but you don't need to be. You just need to be a few steps ahead of somebody, and you are because you're here. You've been to ClickSeminars, you've learnt stuff, and you've got something to offer people. You just got to find those people and make that offer. And often we don't make the offer because we think that we can't, and we're not confident, and we don't have the infrastructure, yada yada yada. There's loads of reasons. Sorry, I keep hitting my computer. There's loads of reasons that we don't make that offer. And actually, we just need to get on and do it. But we tend to get on and do, and I do the same. I've been in this game for ages, but I focus on things that aren't the important thing to be focusing on, because I'm a bit too frightened about the important things. So I do the stuff that feels easy, and we have to push ourselves to do the things that feel not quite that easy and a bit uncomfortable, because those are the things that are really important. And I think, Tom and Jason, you've been doing this stuff for longer than I have, in different ways, and you would say the same. And actually, Jason, your story about starting working for Tom years ago, before you started your own business, provide service for Tom, but you did used to work with
Thank
Tom.
you. Are you picking up?
Hang on,
Alexis? Okay, 1 second.
You used to work with Tom in World Internet Summit, and your story of starting that job is a really motivational one, I think, about stepping out of your comfort zone. Do you want to share? Would you like to share?
Which part of that story, Joe? I guess,
the bit about starting, having told them that you had done all these things, and perhaps it wasn't quite so determined.
I'm not following what you mean. Maybe you can start telling the story and I'll continue. Which part do you mean, I guess?
Your international event management experience, and then your first day was flying to America, which wasn't quite what you'd.
Oh yeah. So there is a funny part to this story. Yes. So I had a job, and I used to work with Tom's wife, actually, and she rang me one day and she said, "Jason, we want someone like you to come and work in our business." And I thought, oh, this sounds interesting. Tell me about the business. And so they told me about the business, and then. So I went in for an interview, and I'm sitting in front of Tom, first time I'd ever met him, and he's telling me about this internet business thing, and I was like this. I was like, "What are you talking about, internet business? This sounds like a whole load of rot." But the job still sounds good, traveling the world to manage events and all of this sort of thing. And they come to me because of my organizational skills. And so Tom says to me in the interview, he said, "So long haul travel, what do you like for long haul travel?" And I've gone, Yeah, really, really good, really good. Yeah, love it, love it. I've never been out of well, I'd been out of Australia, but to New Zealand was, you know, a 2-hour flight at that point in time, was the longest I've ever been, and so Tom didn't clearly get it that time, and I flew to America as the first event, first day on the job. I went to the airport. I hadn't met anyone else on the team, and I flew to America. And flew into Las Vegas, and halfway there, long haul travel. Didn't know this, of course, but you know, you have a couple of drinks on the airplane and the pressure, and you watch a sad movie, and then I was like, what on earth am I doing here? You know, halfway through the flight, I thought, I can't go home. I've just got to embrace it. But what have I done? You know, and I get into America, and I guess the event was probably. It was a learning curve, and also, you know, we went on a learning curve together, I guess, World Internet Summit and I, and we improved things along the way. But yeah, I guess the point Joe's trying to make there is I knew of it, I knew how it worked, but I'd never actually done it before, and I got in there and made it happen, and maybe told a little white lie in the process, I guess. Yeah, international travel, no problems at all. I wanted to do a lot of international travel, yes, but hadn't actually done it before. But you know, that changed very quickly, and about, I don't know, maybe it wasn't until I left the job, until I started my own business. I told Tom and Brett that I'd actually never traveled in long haul before, and they had a little laugh with me as well.
So yes.
Well, since then, Jason, how many times we fly together? I mean, even UK alone, I think we did about 20 or 30 times, because each year we would do.
I've been on 2 holidays to the
did?
UK as well, but since 2006 until now, I've been to the UK 17 times. So 15 of those were
17 times.
And I love, you know, Tom says about the 24 hours travel, and it is, you know, it's a lot of preparation for an event, whereas online it's a little bit less. But I love the 24 hours travel. It's 24 hours where no one can contact me. 24 hours where I don't have to make any decisions except, oh, I'll watch this movie, I'll have this glass of wine, I'll watch that movie. Oh, look, I can read a book
coffee or tea.
well. And there's no
coffee
questions.
Or tea.
Everybody else. Yeah, tea or coffee. How does that joke go? Beef or beef or cow? Anyway, that's I think an Australian comedy skit about the travel industry. Anyway, I want to tie that back into Mick's question. Mick, I think you have to go with what you associate with. So you've said affiliate marketing, you know, what is everybody else doing? Everybody else will do what is right for them, what they associate with best for you, for themselves. And so you've chosen affiliate marketing. I think it's a really good place to start. When I started internet business, I actually did Mark Ling's course. You know, while I was working for World Internet Summit and learning from all of these speakers, I went out, I thought, Mark Ling, this looks brilliant, I'm going to do this. And so it's a different course to what it is now, but he, in going through and doing the course, I learned so much about websites and automation that I didn't already know, and setting up business, and you know, how to go through that whole process. I don't have, actually, those affiliate sites are still actually running and making money right now without doing anything with them at all. But I don't, that's not my business anymore. My business is something entirely different. But it doesn't matter where you start, so long as you start with something you associate with, something you can grab hold of, a little bit of information. You're going to go on this huge learning curve. And in 6 months' time, you might have gone down a different path. But just choose a path now and start taking the first step forward. And whether that's you know, implementing one thing, and then when that one thing is done, implement the next thing, or whether that's grabbing onto a coach and letting them help you implement this stuff, you know, step by step, moving forward from there. I've probably done, I don't know, about 15 different courses to get to where I'm at. And I'm still reaching for more and more information on everything that I do. And I think you just have to take that first step, find something that you associate with. We wouldn't have people teaching at ClickSeminars if it wasn't a good step forward for you. So if there's, you know, one of the things that that somebody has taught you there that you associate with, then start going down that path. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, Jason, go ahead, Joe.
I was
Joe,
just
go
saying,
ahead, Joe.
if you do something and it works, do more of it. You know, sometimes it's sort of, you know, something really small happens and then you think, oh, I don't know if I could do that. You know, oh, who am I to do that? And all those other things. If you've done it once, you can do it again. Just keep going. Tom.
Yeah, well, Jason mentioned it, and I want to put it in particular, make what Jason was suggesting. Jason, you can correct me if I'm wrong. We had multiple speakers. They all taking different approach towards internet marketing and making money working from home and so on. And you need to find someone that makes most sense for you and enroll in their programs. I mean, I'm not trying to sell you something in particular, but I mean, find someone that you think you could learn the most from, sometimes more than one person, then, you know, enroll in their programs, because they can't teach you everything in an hour and a half. Like Jason was mentioning, Mark Ling, that, you know, sometimes you enroll in a course and you learn something, not necessarily 100% to be suitable for your situation, but to learn something from someone is a good starting point. And then you can figure out from there, fine tuning your direction, you know, as you go. You might find your unique approach, you know, like Jason finally decided to focusing on the automation of internet business. And he is the #1 expert to me, I mean, about internet business automation, using to name a few things like, you know, Infusionsoft to start with, then Zapier, then, you know, the rest of it, everything else tying together, then that can improve your efficiency and productivity of your internet business. That's just one example. So I would encourage you to find someone that you think could help you to get started and enroll in their program. Then, you know, take your first step from there. By the way, myself, Jason, and Joe, we didn't have the opportunity to present what we can teach you in particular about internet business. And the opportunity is coming. So pay attention. I mean, we would give Jason, Joe, or even myself an opportunity to present to you, just like, you know, the rest of the speakers. Of course, we'll teach you a lot during our presentation, then perhaps give you an opportunity to learn more, because that's the truth. You have to take some time to learn, not within 90 minutes, but, you know, perhaps, you know, during a course of a few months or even longer, to really get the idea of what needs to be done to get where you actually want to be, you know, to make money, regardless what goal that is, you know, in dollars terms, if you like. You know, if you want to make $100,000 or $1 million, then perhaps require different program, different skill set, and different commitment, different time frame to achieve your goal. Yeah, so pay attention. Joe and Jason will come. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to take the focus off Mick now and put the focus onto everyone else. So so I'm going to ask you all a question. I'd love it if you all answered it individually as well, and happy to cycle through everyone. I want to know what your focus of business is in internet business, and what's the next thing that you're going to do to keep that business moving forward. Who's going to share first? I'll start choosing people if no one's going to volunteer.
Don't be shy.
I'll go first.
Okay, Joe, you go first.
I work with coaches and consultants, and I'm putting a course together. That's my thing. What's everyone else doing? What
are you doing next though? What's the very next thing that you're going to do about that part of your business? Be more specific for me.
Me, I'm putting the course together. I'm doing it right now. John, go John. Go John. John Smelt.
Okay. To fit in with something a colleague of mine is doing, I'm putting together a course on using Microsoft Word templates as a basis for writing reports, dissertations, theses, courses, call them what you will. There's a hell of a lot in there that people just don't know about. And if you do get a handle on it, it makes life so much easier if you're doing long documents where presentation is important.
Mhm.
So that's the next thing. The thing after that, if I can skip ahead, is something Tom suggested about 5 hours ago. Some of you who've talked to me before will know, before this blasted virus thing happened, I was doing at least 3 sessions a week with people who were having trouble with emails, getting their smartphones to work, getting their laptops to work, and all the rest of it. But that tended to be face-to-face. I had to go out to them or to where they were. Now, of course, I can't do that. So I'm thinking about methods I can get together with people on the internet. I mean, the mechanisms are there. I can use them. The problem is, how do I get in touch and get the information to other people so they can get in touch with me? And that's a conundrum I'm going to have to work out. But as Tom so succinctly put it, I think, well, at least some of you will know it's my birthday next week. I'm 80 years
Happy
old
birthday.
next week.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, John.
And I had never thought of playing on that as a selling point to get to a particular market segment. And that started me thinking. So thank you for that, Tom.
Okay.
Good one. Good one.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Can I make a suggestion? Can I make a suggestion? And this is going back a little bit to the Microsoft templates and maybe even to Joe's course as well. I'm going to. I keep getting told this in my business as well. I focus on the product a lot. I focus on what it is that I can teach people, and I focus less on the marketing side of things. And you know, potentially what you could be doing is focusing more on the marketing. And I'm talking to me as well as everyone else in the room here also. You know, focus on the marketing component first. You know what the course is going to be. You've got the structure for it. Sell it first, then create the course is potentially a way forwards, rather than you know, having this big you know, I have it and people will come. Why don't we get the people to come first and then create it?
Yes, yeah. An interesting comment I remember from my school days, hundreds of years ago.
We know that's not 100 years ago. Now you've told us.
Maybe a years ago, isn't it?
Okay, well, yeah, maybe 65 years ago.
Decades ago, we'll say.
I remember going to a talk by somebody who was talking about solar energy. Now, I can't remember anything about the lecture apart from the guy's opening remarks was that when he agreed to do the talk, he knew nothing at all about solar energy. And that the fact that he had to prepare something to come along and talk to us meant that it concentrated the mind really quite beautifully. Just one other comment I'll throw in and then I'll shut up is very good friend of mine has a saying that I must remind myself of every now and again. Some of you may know him, a guy called Tony McCarthy, whose comment is, the only bad action is no action.
Very true, very true. Thank you for sharing that. Before we go to the next one, Jess had a question, and Jess, your biggest challenge is getting the system in place. Is there a program that will put the technical part together that doesn't demand months of training?
Jess has switched her video off. She may not be there. You may. Oh no, she's coming. She's there.
There she is. Yeah.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jess. Can you hear us?
You want to unmute?
Do you want to unmute, Jess, and tell us a little bit more about the system that you mean? You know, what's your business focus? What are you trying to put together? Just unmute yourself there first. You're muted there, Jess. I'll just need you to unmute.
So it's probably top right.
Okay, okay. Is it
There
better?
we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
Can you
yeah,
hear
yeah.
me?
We can hear you now. Good, good, good,
Okay.
good now.
Well, I want to be. Anyways, it's a long story. I'm sorry. I'm getting emotional. Okay. Anyways, I've just been trying to get something to, like, I did the Click seminars and I bought Paul I don't know how to say his name. Oh My Honey. Remember, Tom? Oh My Honey. I bought his program, and everything is starting in November and everything. But my biggest challenge is just I want to teach people, I want to help people, like, basically just become their best self, help them go through the self-development journey that I've been doing myself. I did it. It's just been self-guided journey that I've taken on. My background is I'm a dental hygienist by profession, but I'm not practicing in New York, from Vancouver. And so my passion is to really just help teach people what I know, because I've learned the best through other people's experiences and what they're teaching. And so my biggest problem is actually getting the system, like putting my work out there in terms, and I know they've said that webinars are the best way to actually communicate with the people you're trying to reach, and you teach something that you know. Now I'm ready to do that part, and I just don't know how to actually make the money, create the money out of it, like exchange my value and get value back.
Yeah,
And
cool.
That's my challenge. And I have a lot of, I do Photoshop. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, it's called Quello, and it's sort of like the Netflix of music, but it's just, it's basically, I worked for them, and I clipped concert documentaries, videos, and everything. So I have all these various different skills. And so I love creating stuff on Canva and creating, like, presentations. I can do all that stuff. I have all these skills, yet I don't know how to actually put it together in a way that is able to generate something back.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have that pressure where you have to, like, everything is weighing on you, and you're like, I just need something that helps me. I'm sorry.
Yes, that is so great to hear that you've firstly invested in your future, and also that you've got so many skills already. Your first step really is to follow what Paul teaches you. And, already,
Yes.
just today to us, you've just proved to us that you could do things like Facebook Lives and YouTube videos and Instagram videos and everything else so well. You came across so well then. And that emotion, although
I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, you're probably feeling, that you don't want to show that emotion, but, guys on the call, does that not make you want to connect with Jess? Because she clearly absolutely, believes what she's wanting to give to the world. And that's such a great skill to have. And the fact that you can open up to people and show that in this scenario, I can talk like this. I hate doing videos. I never do videos. I can't do them. It's my sort of, it's not me at all. So I wouldn't do them. You are natural, and that emotion is coming through. But just follow Paul's program.
Okay. So I'm on the right track. With Paul, because I knew when he was presenting, I loved everything he had to say and how he's doing everything, and I'm learning so much so far. And it's just that urgency, when life is like pushing you, and you're like, oh my God, I just need someone to just kind of like take the clouds, like the mystery out of it, because I know once it occurs to me, I'll know what to do, and I'll be like, oh, this is all it took. And it's just like, so this is brave, because I don't normally I would never do this, but I'm like at that point where life is forcing you to reach out for help, and you just reach out.
Yeah.
If you've got all those, sorry.
You go, Terry, you go.
If you've got all those skills as a creative, you know, you could put yourself on Fiverr or Upwork and do some help somebody else while you're learning.
Right.
Because those are great saleable skills. There's a huge market in the online planners and journals and selling your own
Did you watch a
design.
Did you watch a presentation, Jess?
Did I what?
Alicia
Little.
Yes, yes. They're sisters, right?
Yes.
Yes. True. Yes, I watched that, and yes.
So what
I've totally watched that. I think I'm gonna go back and watch that again.
Yeah. So I'm not saying buy it, but what Terry.
No. Just watch it. Yeah. It'll give me ideas.
Alicia was putting out there. So yeah, great advice, Terry.
Yeah, Jess. Yes, thank you for sharing. Appreciate that, and getting quite personal there as well.
Thank you.
Like Joe said, do the program, and there's right now you're going to go through this overwhelming learning curve, and you're going to be, you're a little bit like me by the sounds of this. I want to know how to do this and this and this, and I want to know how to do it all right now. And you know, Paul is very good at structuring what you need and when you need it. So follow that process. But if you get to, you know, halfway through and you think, you know what, I just need this right now, just send us an email at ClickSeminars, info@ClickSeminars, and say, hey, I'm at this point, or you know, more importantly, ask your coach, Paul, you know, say I'm at this point, and I really want to know how to do this, but I know we're going down through here. Ask Paul first, because there'll be a reason he's following this process.
Yes.
And you know, he'll make sure that it's the right direction for you in that process first. But if you need help with the other stuff, we've got plenty of resources. Don't you worry about that. But get in there and do the program first. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
To remember, going back to some of the things we've said already, is don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed with it. So, you know, follow along, but pick the bits that suit your current skills and the route you want to talk to, because Paul's program has got a whole ton of stuff in there.
There's a lot.
Exactly.
It's good.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And that's great, but pick a route and go down that route. And speak to him, his team, his coaches, to help you to find that route for you, because there's a lot of stuff in there, and you can get and you've clearly got something to offer already. You just need a route for that, so get them to help you with that route.
And if the technical stuff is still a problem for you, and they don't have a solution for that, reach out to us. You know, there's always a solution. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. And I just want to say thank you so much I would have not known anything about Click Seminars if you guys hadn't hosted that. And it was amazing. I'm really grateful. And it opened up a lot of opportunities and just helped me see things from a different perspective, and especially at that time. So I'm really thankful, and I'm glad to be part of this situation. So thank you again.
Enjoy that
Thank
journey.
you very much. Thank you very much for you just have said, why don't you make a video and we can use it as a testimonial, and at the same time give you some publicity.
I can do that.
What you said very well there. Yeah, Tom. You can do that, and you did just very well. Yeah, send it to us.
I promise I'll do that.
So we can give you some free publicity to start with.
Yay! Okay, I knew it. Okay.
I love your hair.
Thank you. Great. Thank you. I just did it not too long ago. I could, So thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time to answer my question, and I will do that video.
Lovely. Thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. So Carol, you put a comment in there about what you're intending to do. Do you want to unmute and tell us a bit more about it? Because from what you've told me already, or told us already, I think you've got what you need to get out there and start working with people. There's learning, I'm sure. There's things that you'll be able to develop, but you sound like you've got a ton of skills already. Tell us more.
About the skills. Hi, everybody, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk. I was actually kind of lost when to start, because with that COVID-19 thing, I've never hosted a webinar or with people. I did a couple of Reiki. I changed and I changed since 2017-18. I studied Reiki and energy, but I'm kind of shy to go on webinars with groups. So I joined Aaron Raymond, and thanks to ClickSeminar, I'm enrolled in November with him on the 3 days. So I can have more skills on how to address people and not to sound boring. But I wanted also in parallel to know how to start an e-commerce online or an affiliate, which I don't have the skills to. But I did build my website. It's ready, but I don't know by what to start and how. So that's where I lack. So if I can have some guidance.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have this saying called closest to cash, and I usually like to start when I'm overwhelmed. I think, okay, which is the fastest path here to go and start making some cash? It might not be the most lucrative path to go and make some cash, but the fastest path to cash. And I usually take that route first and then work backwards from there. So for you, what's the fastest path to cash or closest to cash for you?
It would be maybe the Reiki and the sessions or the webinars and affiliate, because e-commerce, I still have to go and get the products. Although I would like, I have some products in mind, but until I get them and just have them on the website will take time. Affiliate, okay. I can have links, so that would be a quick thing. Mm-hmm. It's the affiliate and having webinars on Reiki.
Okay. So what are you learning from Raymond? What are you learning from Raymond? I know what you're learning from him, but you tell me, what are you going to learn?
Well, I've enrolled the 3 days, the webinar on how to talk on Zoom and how to address, a group of people and how to be able to sell and to talk.
Okay,
so
good one.
Can I just ask a question there? You do Reiki sessions one-to-one in real life currently?
Currently, well, since the COVID, I stopped. I joined. Before COVID, it was, yes, on a one-to-one, but physically.
Okay, so forget how to sell this, which is what Raymond's teaching you. He's talking about group sessions and online speaking and so on. You can help somebody through the medium of Zoom with what you already know. So
I'm still new. I never went on Zoom for Reiki at all.
No, but you can do Reiki, and you can do Reiki on Zoom. We know that many people are doing it. You already have that skill. So the selling bit of it might be slightly different, but have you got customers that you've worked with before with Reiki who you just haven't worked with on Zoom yet?
No, I haven't worked with them at Zoom because they joined others. They went on internet because other people are offering it. I wasn't quick enough to offer, and I was kind of shy, like inexperienced to go and do the internet side.
Okay. So do you think that was all your customers?
So do you think that is...
Sorry, Jace.
Potentially. Whoop, I lost you, Joe.
Sorry, you go.
You go, Joe. You go.
I was just
no, you go.
Hey!
I was just
go so far.
I was just challenging Carol whether that was all your customers have gone with other people, or is that an assumption that you've made because you've heard of 1 or 2 customers who've already gone online?
It's an assumption. I didn't have many customers yet because I've changed careers.
Okay.
So I had a few, like some friends but some joined, and I'm sure some will join. Yes, but it's to go and get like Raymond or like on your Click Seminars. It's to go and get people on Facebook.
Joe, what do you call a supermarket in the UK?
A supermarket.
Okay, good.
But Carol's
All over the world, it's called the supermarket. Good. So in Australia, we have two main brands. Oh, we've got three. We've got Aldi, and we've got Coles, and we've got Safeway. I go to Safeway because it's the closest, but it doesn't mean I don't go to Aldi and I don't go to Coles as well. And so, so just because these people have chosen to go somewhere else doesn't mean they won't choose to come back with you as well. So, so you know, potentially that's something that you can do very, very quickly. You could reach out to all of those people, and you know, that could be some cash flow for you. It's a short-term thing.
And remember, they may have only gone to those other people because they were offering it and you weren't. So you may be their absolute favorite Reiki healer. You're their absolute favorite, but you weren't offering it to them, so they had to go somewhere else. So from a, you know, we talk about confidence, you don't have to assume that they went to someone else because they were better. They didn't. They went to someone else because you weren't offering it. Now you are. Go and ask them.
So that's step one.
And also to go on Facebook, to advertise on Facebook, and that would be a good thing.
For sure. If you've got somewhere to send them to, if you've got a Facebook page, and if you've got a website that you can direct people to, that where someone can book in for a Reiki session, that's probably your first point of call. And you could have that ready by the end of the week.
By the week. Okay, so go on Facebook, build it, and then I can go also with affiliates. And
so you can go with affiliates, but I want to ask you a question on that. What affiliate are you going to go with? Tell me more about when you say you can go with affiliates. What? Tell me more.
Yeah, like supplements, companies with supplements,
that are going
health
to help
supplements.
With the Reiki business, do you mean?
With Reiki, things like to protect you from EMFs, bracelets and things. And,
okay, good one. So yes,
necklaces with 5G to protection. I would love to consult for the red therapy, sauna, which has a lot of health benefits. So it's so really, I'm very fascinated with helping the people to improve their lives, and with cancer and with all that. That's
so many ideas, and what you'll probably find is you'll be doing this in a one-to-one basis. It's a path forwards, and it becomes a job for you. But through this process and through doing Raymond's course as well, you're going to start looking at one-to-many. Get the one-to-one process up and running so you can keep earning an income straight away as soon as you can.
One-to-one, okay.
And then follow Raymond's path, because that's going to take you to one-to-many, and that's where it's going to grow. You don't want to be working in a job, you want to be running a business here, and being able to grow through that process.
And don't forget the opportunity of asking your old customers that might be your new customers, if you go back and say that you can now offer this online, if they have referrals to their friends, because this is a time where people are struggling with, as you know, mental health, stress and all that sort of stuff, and some of their health issues are going to come out that you can help them with. Because as you know, well, my experience, my friend who's a Reiki healer became one because she had so many mental health issues that actually her body gave up on her, and she was helped through Reiki, and that's why she became a Reiki healer. There must be people in that situation who are friends of the people that you already know. So even if those customers you've already got or you already had have gone somewhere else and they're happy with those people, they potentially have got people that they know who they can talk to about you, because they understand the benefits of what you do, and now you're able to offer it to them. You know, there's an opportunity. So talk to those people as well about, do they know anybody that they can recommend to you? Because in this climate, people need the sort of stuff that you're offering, and they don't always know what it means or how it can help them and that sort of thing, do they?
If they've worked with you before, they can still give testimonials to build up your authority. If you've worked with them before, if they're happy where they are and they don't want to come back, you can ask them, would you mind giving me a testimonial for when we work together? You know,
exactly.
Good one.
Yeah.
So absolutely a path forwards there, Carol. Who's next? Who wants to share with where they're at and what they are going to do next? What about Daisy?
I'm also doing a course, financial literacy for me, and cybersecurity, and like kind of like John as well. Like I just happen to have there's older people around, and just happen to like they need help with technology, and every once in a while, and then. Having worked at a bank, knowing a lot of horror stories, and here in Canada, they're like, they're quite a bit, and like, because seniors is a very vulnerable population, because right now also like relatively they're seen as the ones with the most money and just targeted more ways and not necessarily knowing that. So I just like, so that part is there. I'm an introvert like Joe, so this is kind of it's difficult in that sense. So like you said, like I have to make money in between, so it's like affiliate marketing, and I've actually bought a lot of courses and I'm taking them. The one thing for me is kind of tend to be perfectionistic and not really want to do it, like, so I'll just wait and wait and wait, but I do have to take those steps and actually do it. So I know, because it's like at the first VIP session I was just talking about, I took a digital marketing course from a private college nearby like a year or two ago, and I was like taking these courses to build on it, and I'm like thinking, okay, maybe I don't want to go back to job search like and like a traditional role, and actually start a business and do something that I'm more passionate about, instead of working for others and then spending a lot of time volunteering. And plus I have much more time to volunteer if I could come up with the funds, and also I could support in other ways, like financially as well. So it's just really getting through the material, and really just that push to like, I know I have to just, who cares if it's not perfect. It's kind of like one of those bad habits I have to,
Before we have
Thanks for sharing that, Daisy. I worked for World Internet Summit for how many years? Nearly 10 years, and it wasn't until I did the course and I actually started doing the stuff where I learned so much. I watched these presentations of all of these speakers for so long and learned so much, but I didn't do. And it wasn't until I did it and I made mistakes, and I learned from my mistakes, and my knowledge went from, here. Most people that write down off the screen say, if they haven't been to one of the events at very least, and, I watched and watched and watched, my knowledge was here. I knew everything about what should happen, what I should be doing, but I didn't do any of it. And when I started doing, when I actually implemented the stuff, my knowledge went sky high straight away. And I made a lot of mistakes, and I didn't make a lot of money out of that first business. But what I did get is, it paid for my learning that was far greater than anything else. So don't just watch the course and participate, or watch the course and sit back. I really want you to do, but I think you know that.
In the olden days, we used to talk about when you'd go on courses and you'd bring the big folder back and stick it on your shelf, and we'd call it shelf learning, because you'd learn it, stick it on your shelf, and that would be the end of it. I don't know what we call the courses that we do online, because they're not on a shelf. It's the same principle.
Here's one.
But it's the same principle, that it's really, again, Terry, what we were talking about earlier, we can procrastinate by continuing to learn, thinking we need to get it perfect and everything else. And actually, sometimes you just have to do something, and it'll work or it won't. And if it works, you do more of it. If it doesn't, you do something different. And it's that implementing, that taking that action, that enables you to move forwards and gives you confidence as well, because you've tested and you've trialed and everything else. And it is hard to do that, and it's easy to just keep learning, or just keep doing. I mean, one of my things is I like organizing myself. So if I'm procrastinating on anything, I'll organize myself, which is of no use to anybody, because no one's going to pay me for me to organize myself. But it is about taking those steps and breaking everything down to really little steps, and what can you do every day that's moving you forwards towards that thing that you need to do. And it's got to be like 20 minutes. It's not big, because if it's big you won't do it. So really small little steps that will move you forwards and allow you to test the stuff that you're going to do. And if it works, do more of it. If it doesn't, move on to something else. Tom, you must have a thought on that.
Do you have people that you can bounce ideas off? I mean, is your husband supportive in your business? that you can say, I'm thinking on doing this, and he might sit down with you and so you can bounce ideas together. I mean, because I feel that that's really where I lose. I'm not, well, yes, I am in a bit like in the business. It's a bit like Nelly no mates, you know, because I'm not, I haven't got anybody close to me who's interested in running their own business. So, and you know, I had an occupation for 40 years. So, you know, I'm starting late on. It's a different learning process. But also I've got a memory problem with, you know, with impairment on my short-term memory, and I find learning, particularly to do with software, extremely difficult. It would be good, you know, if I was in a situation where I was talking about it all day, or, you know, bouncing ideas off somebody, but, you know, I find, you know, you're only talking to yourself in your own head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, now I think because of this, like, yeah, I do now have accountability, and I actually, yeah. So I think that's part of like these courses were slightly different than the private college, because that one is like, it was like make believe projects, and this one is I'm actually doing for real. And yeah, I'm making myself more accountable. So it's still as scary, and like you said, like it's like, I think a lot of people who come to the seminar, like they're by themselves, and they don't have a supportive environment around them. So it is like, it's finding that community. And it's just, yeah, it just takes time. Also, just making mistakes. Just because I think the conditioned institutionalized learning. Just so used to wanting to get that 100%, and it's like no. It's like, it's more like no. It just either it works or doesn't work, and which way is it get me to actually what I want to do, and because I'm trying to exit from my institution so that I have more freedom. Yeah. So thank you for thank you. That's really helpful. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Good question, Sherry, as well. I mean, but firstly, don't assume that if you have a husband or a wife or a partner that they're going to be particularly.
No, I did ask Izzy.
However, I said earlier about my program for, you know, how to coach people, how to be a coach, and you know, one of the points in there is who is in your support network, and that is not necessarily your partner. Lots of people don't have that advantage, you know, even if they have got somebody in the house with them. But you know, who can you seek out? So Terry, you're in Primo 3, so you have that weekly support from us.
Yeah.
Who else? You know, who else do you know? Who can you connect with? Who's on a program that you're already on? Who have you connected with through the calls that you go on, through something like this? Who can you speak to? Who can you find through social media? You know, all that stuff. I mean, Jace, you know, we became friends through working together on World Internet Summit, but you know, we've certainly helped each other through certain projects because we've got different skill sets and all that sort of thing. And we don't talk all the time, do we? But at times we, you know, connect up.
We talk. Yeah, you know, I've got a story to tell here that is probably the reason why I'm still in business, and it's quite appropriate now. Quite a few years ago, when I started my business, 6 years ago, in fact, when I finished working at World Internet Summit, I started my own business. And you know, Brett McFall was one of my bosses then, and he had a speaker training course. I thought, well, for me to run this business, I have to be able to market, and I'm petrified of public speaking. So I did his speaker training course, and so did a fellow called Matt Taylor and a colleague called Donna Marie Coggins. And we all did it at the same time with other people as well. And then we all decided that us three decided we were going to have a little mentor group. And so every week since then, so it's now 5.5 years since we did that. There's been a couple of weeks that we've missed, you know, if we're away or what have you. But every week on a Thursday at 2 p.m. we meet for an hour and we hold each other accountable for the things that we said we were going to do last week, and we bounce ideas off each other, and you know, it's exactly that scenario that Joe's suggesting, where find a group of people that are on the same path as you, and get them into a mentor group where you can do that. And I say do it tomorrow. Do it today even. You know, there's people on this, there's the people on this call, there's people in the groups of the, you know, speaker products that you've purchased as well. Find a group of people and let them be your support network, and you be their support network as well. It makes it a whole load easier. 100%.
It's interesting. I have a membership site, and I've got a couple of members, both of whom are on programs that they've bought from other people. So they haven't bought my program, they've bought other people's programs, but I support them with those programs. So you know, they're on that program and they're, you know, in the same boat as everyone else, and there's a whole ton of people that they're all doing stuff together, but for whatever reason, that's not worked for them. And so they're talking to me, and I don't know what the program is because I don't run it. It's not my program, but I can coach them or support them or be a person to bounce ideas off, because they tell me what they're supposed to be doing, and then I, you know, help them, keep them accountable with everything else. And actually keeping people accountable, you don't actually need to know what people are doing or what the best plan is or the best route or anything. You can just be the person that says, what did you say you were going to do last week? Have you done it? What are you going to do differently next week? You know, you don't have to know anything about what they're doing. So, you know, there might be people who are completely not in business, as you've said, Terry, already, but they're really keen to see you succeed. And you could say to them, look, can you help me? I need somebody to keep me accountable every week for the actions that I've agreed I'm going to do. And you don't need to know what those actions are really. You don't need to know the detail of what they mean, but I need to tell you what they're going to be, and I need to tell you if I've done them or not. And that's actually accountability. So it doesn't even have to be people who understand, to be honest.
I mean, I used to make, before COVID, I was, you know, regular at network meetings, and did a lot of them, you know, and so I was always in a positive environment talking to people, and, you know, it bolsters you, because sometimes you can come up with ideas for them when you can't come up with ideas for your own, but you kind of think, oh, actually, I do know.
All that, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I'm great at sorting out other people's problems. I'm a firefighter, and it's easy to sort someone else's out because you're looking at it from a different angle to what they are.
Yes.
It's not quite so easy with your own, and also.
So you need to find somebody who's like you, who will try and help you. But then, and my learning point is this, then you have to be accepting of the help they give you, because I don't want to listen to anybody's feedback. Thank you very much.
Well, my problem is that you have to be very careful of the people who are giving you the advice, like telling you, why you spend all this money on courses, why are you doing this? You've over the years, yes, I've probably got lots and lots and lots of different things, and the trouble is, I know you've got to be doing things differently. It's no good doing the same thing each time. But when people just say, oh, well, you know, give it up and retire and you know, and why are you doing this? Well, you know, my the pension I get now will pay my rent and my gas and electricity. If I want to feed myself, run a car, keep a horse, and go dancing, then I need to still work. And also, if I retired, I'd be spending more than if I'm working.
Yeah.
But it is, I suppose, a few years ago, things were going well, and I took my eye off the ball a bit. And apart from losing a big customer as well, because I knew this was going to happen years ago, but it was about a third of my output. And so now my thing is to try and well, it was to scale down my current bricks and mortar business and do something on the internet. Well, I've been trying for over a year and a half now, nearly 2 years on the internet, and didn't feel I was getting very far, but now I feel, yes, I'm starting to. And I must say the last sort of ClickFunnels I found was very good.
And John, when you're finding somebody to hold you accountable, don't choose the people who are going to criticize you for your dreams or buying into things that are going to teach you to take that step, because you know your why, as Jason said right at the beginning. You know that you've got to do this, and you know people who have achieved things in this world. So you know you've got to not have people who are going to, you know, try and talk you out of it, when you know there's other people who can support you. You know, even like Terry, you were saying, Terry and John, you know each other really well because we meet every week on Primo. You know, there's no reason why you two shouldn't meet separately and hold each other accountable for tasks, because you both believe in it, you both understand the challenges, and you know each other already. There's no pressure to, you know, do anything in any detail. You don't need to teach each other anything, but you might agree, like Jason said, to meet on a regular basis. And John, the same with you, and say, right, by next week I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I try and hold you accountable through Primo 3, but it becomes, as Tom said, you know, social support. So maybe now's the time to have a much smaller accountability group that runs alongside what we're doing.
That's really important, I think.
Terry, if you'd be interested, let's you and I see if we can work together. It might work, it might not.
John, he's just moved in on you there. You need to.
I see that.
Yeah, I think it's really important what Joe said there as well. And we go to ask questions of the people that we know what their answer is going to be. So, John, I suggest that maybe you're asking questions or discussing things with people where you know the answer is going to be this, and maybe it's a little bit of a I'm too scared to go forwards kind of thing, or you know, some of that inside there as well. But inherently we do that. So go to people that are going to give you the answer that says keep pushing forward. Don't go to those people that are going to, oh, what are you doing in there? You know, that's never going to make any money kind of, you know that's going to be their response. So don't go to them anymore. You know, choose the people wisely.
It's finding those other people. Like on a number of occasions, like with a course, you've had the opportunity of taking somebody with you. And you know the difficulty of actually finding somebody, it's such a waste. And
John or Terry with you next time.
If he wanted to do one of the things, that crumbs.
Take John or Terry with you next time.
Yeah, John or Terry, I'll come with you.
Or Daisy or Jess or Carol, but they're in other countries, so that's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, that is the difficulty, isn't it? It's like that, you know, this is a world where, you know, a big proportion of people are cup half empty, and a big proportion of people are, you know, cynical and think, you know, X, Y, Z, whatever. And, you know, some things won't be right for you. So some routes won't be the right thing to do. And sometimes things won't work. It doesn't mean it doesn't work for everyone. And it doesn't mean that other things won't work for you. But that's how it can feel at times. And when you've got somebody sat on your shoulder going, oh, I told you so, that wasn't going to work. I said it was rubbish. Then it's really hard, isn't it, to keep motivated. So as Jason says, you've got to find those people who will support you, you know, whatever, and keep pushing forwards to that vision and that why that Jason mentioned right at the beginning.
But I must say, the weekly meetings I find are the best, although we don't always talk about business.
We always talk about business.
No, but it is in fact, I think it's the only one where, apart from family, we actually meet other people and they've got different things. And I really look forward to those. I feel that those are the most important ones of the meetings in the week, actually.
Oh, that's so lovely. Another testimonial in the making there, Tom. John, do that video.
Yeah, actually, I mean, whoever is watching the recording of this call, we really love to have your testimonials in, and, you know, make a video or make a blog post or put onto YouTube or send to us directly, whether it's a video or audio or even in text. And we can publish on our website and give you some publicity to start with. It's free. Yeah, and it's going to be a win-win situation. It's going to be good for us. And sometimes you'll be amazed, you know, how many people's life we have changed with what you have been providing. Sometimes, you know, people are getting good value and without telling you. And we like to hear from you, even if you are not on the call today live, and tell us what you have learned, or even sometimes, you know, can be some suggestions as how we can make it better. That's what we are here for. And thank you.
Yes.
Good one. Good one.
So where do we send it? It's info at ClickSeminars.com.
Well,
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
you can just get into the Facebook group, really, can't you? Put it up into the Facebook group for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay,
right. Yeah,
good.
Daisy. Yeah, put into the Facebook group, or if it's going to be a video, then you can put it onto your a YouTube channel or whatever that you have. In whatever format. There's multiple ways of contacting us. Yeah, then we can as long as we have the links. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Glad to do testimonial. I'm not sure which way. Like, text is no problem. I'll see if I have the courage to do either of the other.
Why not? I mean, you sound very good, and you are a good-looking lady, and you sound very good. I mean, if I wish I was you. If I was you, I would be doing lots of videos. Yeah.
Have you read that book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway? That's my point. Daisy.
Well, but the thing is, when you're a perennial reader, you can do, like you said, shelf reading. So it's like it goes on a shelf. Like first it goes in.
John Smelt, did you have anything? Did we give John Smelt an opportunity to ask any questions, John?
Yeah, he's been carry up.
No. Yeah, you obviously weren't listening, Tom.
Okay. Maybe I just missed your beautiful voice.
Yeah,
you do have a very good voice. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that was that boring. But
phones, click seminars, but please don't, because I don't like phone calls. Email us. But if you have phoned us, the answer phone is John Smelt. He has such a lovely voice. We got him to record the message.
I'm still on there, am I?
You are.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. So anything else we can help you with? I think we've covered a lot.
Really. Like, I'm just thinking, didn't we take up like more than like, are you sure you still want to be talking to us? Like, don't you you just missed your favorite, like one of your favorite programs? And like, I'm just thinking, don't you guys want to leave? It's like absolutely grateful and appreciative that you're still here, but at the same time, like, to be respectful of your time too.
Thank you, Josie. Well, I've got to start taking tablets. Tom, your day's just starting now, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, it's getting bright outside. Yeah, I'm just about to start working for the rest of the project and everything else. I thank you very much, every single one of you, on live particularly. And if you are still watching this recording, I mean, we would love to see you live. And as I said, Jason and Joe, they will have an opportunity, and you will have an opportunity to watch what they have to teach you. So pay attention to what we have to announce to you, and then they will have a full session teach you about what they are particularly good at with helping you to grow or to start your internet business. So having said that, I think we already spent about 100 minutes now. So perhaps we should say goodbye to each other for now. And if we need another session, just raise your hand and put your request to our Facebook group, or sending us an email. We can always get together again, regardless wherever you are in the world, or if you missed the live session, and just raise your hand and we can potentially organize another live session like what we did today. So thank you, everyone.
Yes,
thank you, Jason.
Thank
you.
Have
you got anything else to say?
I've always
Anyone
got something
else?
else to say, but I'm good.
leave it till the next time. Okay, thank you so much, Jason. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Daisy. And thank you everyone who is watching as well. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye for now. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.